Okay, there is a formula you can use to find the equation of a straight line. It's y minus y1 equals m bracket x minus x1. All you need to know is a point through which the line goes and the gradient m. So m is the gradient and x1, y1 is the point it goes through. Okay, let's have a look at an example. Write down the equation of the line that passes through the point 3 minus 4 and has a gradient of 2 over 3. Now remember what gradient means. It means vertical distance over horizontal distance, and because this gradient is a positive, it goes up to the right. For the coordinate point, we label x1 and y1 underneath it, just so we know which point is which. We write down the rule to help us remember it, and we replace y1 with minus 4, so we end up with y minus minus 4, equals the gradient 2 over 3, bracket x minus x1. Okay, so we've done that substitution. Now the two minus signs together become a plus. And then the number in front of the bracket, even though it's a fraction, multiplies each thing inside the bracket. 2x, or 2/3 of x. And then when 2/3 multiplies at -3, a positive times a negative is a negative, and the 3's cancel out, leaving 2. And we usually don't leave it like this. We usually want y by itself on one side of the equal sign. So we'll change the side, change the sign, and our final equation is y equals 2/3 x minus 6. Now in previous lessons I reminded you that that x is actually up in the numerator with the 2. Sometimes people write it like this, but it means the same thing. So if you see an equation written like this, that x actually goes in the numerator next to the 2. Let's have a look at a second example. Find the gradient of a line which cuts the x-axis at x equals 3 and has a gradient of minus 2. Alright, so we write down what we know here, m equals minus 2. But you might be thinking, how do we find the point? Well, a good way to go is to draw yourself a little picture. It cuts the x-axis at x equals 3. Now that gradient is a negative slope because it's a minus sign, so it goes down as we move in the positive x direction. And it cuts the x-axis at 3. Now the coordinates there are 3, 0. X is 3, y is 0. So that's the point we're going to use in our formula. Now we write x1 and y1 underneath. We write down the rule to help us remember it, and we replace each thing. So y minus 0 equals minus 2 bracket x minus bracket x minus 3. Alright, so on the left hand side it's just y, and on the right hand side we expand the bracket and we get minus 2x, and then a negative 2 times a negative 3 gives us a positive 6. Okay. We can also use this same formula if we're being given 2 points. Let's see what steps we need to do. Alright, step 1. Find the gradient. And we can use the gradient formula for that. Step 2. Use the formula for the gradient and knowing one point it goes through. So it's as simple as that. Let's have a look at an example. Find the equation of a line passing through the point 2, 5 and minus 2, 1. First thing we do is we write down what the gradient is. And we have to use the gradient formula. Here it is. Now we need to put underneath our points x1, y1 and x2, y2, just so we don't get mucked up when we put the numbers in. So m equals 1 minus 5. Remember that minus sign comes from the rule. x2 is negative 2, it goes straight in over here, and the minus sign comes from the rule, so minus 2 minus 2. Now the numerator becomes -4 and the denominator is also -4. So -4 divided by -4 equals +1. Okay, they've left a few steps out there, but that's what they are. What comes next? Well, we write down our rule. Y minus y1 equals m bracket x minus x1. You should write it down every time because it helps you remember it. Now we put in the things we know. We'll just use x1, y1 here, it's already labelled. So we're going to take that value and put it into our rule. So there, they've rewritten it for us so it's a bit clearer. Y minus y1 is y minus 5 equals the gradient of 1 bracket x minus 2. Okay, so the right hand side, we expand the bracket, 1 times x and 1 times minus 2, that's easy. And we change the side, change the sign to give us the final rule of y equals x plus 3.